Fortnite Wrecked. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare any sweats watching. But Fortnite Wrecked gave a new take on a Fortnite season that split the community forever. An entire season themed around chaos and wacky items. While this was one of the most fun seasons of all time, a lot of people hated this season and wanted an escape from the chaos. While Tim Sweeney came down from the heavens to offer a solution to these people's prayers, Fortnite Reload took Fortnite back to basics with a 40-player mode that took place on a smaller version of the Chapter 1 map. And the loot pool was mainly comprised of iconic weapons from across previous chapters. The key thing here is that these were all standard weapons. There was no wackiness in sight. This mode was about as basic as it gets. The perfect escape from the chaos of Wrecked. So let's cut to Reload now and oh, how did we get here? When Reload first released, it was a game mode that took elements from each chapter to create a fast-paced battle royale mode, and you saw this reflected in things like the loot pool. The loot pool was as basic as it gets, but that's what makes it good. Most weapons were just standard guns from Chapter 1, but we still had guns from other chapters like the Combat AR or Mammoth Pistol. Even the map reflected this, with Venture, the first map, being a condensed version of the Chapter 1 map. Places like Pleasant Park and Retail Row returned, and then we got remixed versions of Loot Lake and Lonely Lodge. And this trend continued with future maps like Oasis being inspired by the desert biome of Chapter 1, with locations like Paradise Palms and Lizard Links. And then there was Slurp Rush, a Chapter 2 themed map with Steamy Stacks, Slurpy Swamp, and Dirty Docks. Each one of these maps was themed around a different era of Fortnite, while having their own theme: grass, desert, and slurp. New POIs were also based on landmarks from these eras of Fortnite, and even the loot pool would reflect these changes. But that was back in April. We've gotten 3 more maps since then, the last of which I'll get to later. But what are the themes of those maps? Well, continuing from the themes of Chapter 1, also Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, we have Halloween and Squid Games. Look, I'm not completely opposed to themed maps like this, as long as they feel like they actually belong in Reload. But these maps don't. Let's take the Halloween map for example. Fortnite has tons of spooky locations to take inspiration from, so why do we have places like spooky suburbs and terror turrets? These locations just aren't memorable at all and just feel like filler locations if they were on an actual Battle Royale map. And some of these locations are almost identical to much better locations. Take Terror Turrets for example, a spooky castle located on the far edge of the Underworld biome, and then take the Underworld from Chapter 5, a spooky castle on the far edge of the Underworld biome. So why would you not just use the Underworld? So many locations on this map are just so close to other locations that they end up feeling unmemorable. So why not just use the locations people actually like? But this wouldn't be as big of a problem if these maps were actually good. These maps just don't feel as good to play on as old maps. Squid Game and Nightmare Islands are way too big, and a lot of the times the locations on these maps just suck. The Labyrinth in Squid Grounds is one of the most annoying locations to play on, and then you have locations like Leech Lake or Heretic Hedges that are just a house. They're literally just a house. Not to mention, just look at the art style of these maps. They're so boring and realistic with toned down colors. How do you go from the vibrant colors of a map like this to the bland maps like this? And with these maps being collab and seasonal maps, that means after a while, these maps would have to be removed. So did Epic make any traditional maps since we got 2 event maps? No, meaning that once these events were over, in November 2025, the map rotation was still Venture, Oasis, and Slurp Rush. But of course, we got a new Reload map, Surf City. Gross. There is one specific update that I think changed Reload forever. That is the version 37.10 update. At first, this update just seems like a standard loot pool refresh, but there were some strange items added to rotation. Starting off, they added Chapter 6 weapons to Reload. Okay, sure, Chapter 6 was nearing its end at the time, so it's about time to add these guns to Reload. But the guns they chose were a little bit questionable. The OXR rifle was involted. At first, just a normal Chapter 6 weapon, but this gun was introduced in Chapter 6 Season 4. Version 37 of Fortnite is Chapter 6 Season 4. This is the dominant brand new assault rifle in a brand new Battle Royale season. Weapons introduced in the current Battle Royale season making their way to Reload just feels wrong. I don't like this. Let me try to put it this way. Yes, the OXR rifle is a good weapon, but when they wanted to add this item to Reload, they could have waited a few months. This just makes the mode feel way too similar to Battle Royale. Here's Battle Royale. Hi, I'm Battle Royale. My primary assault rifle is the OXR rifle. And then let's take a look at Blitz. Hi, I'm Blitz, and my primary assault rifle is the OXR rifle. And now let's look back at Reload. Hi, I'm Reload, and my primary assault rifle is the OXR rifle. Don't get me wrong, the OXR rifle is still decent and has a place in Reload, but it gets repetitive when it's the primary assault rifle in 3 out of the 4 game modes, and the other game mode is OG. If they wanted to add the OXR rifle, then right now, at the moment I upload this video, would be a good time to add it. Chapter 6 Season 4 has long run its course, and now this gun can get added without any association to the current season with a brand new meta. But I'm sure things have stopped since then. How bad could things possibly be now? Oh hey, is that a new Reload map? Oh, what could the map theme be? I'm so excited!
That's it? I ever started this stupid fan club in the first place!
In concept, this map is a terrible idea. Reload already feels a lot like Battle Royale, so what's the best idea to fix this? Add a map based on the current Battle Royale season. This new map takes the issue of Battle Royale feeling too similar to Reload to a whole new level. Before, you just had a few similar guns, but now that's completely gone. The tactical pistol was added to Reload, which was one of the most anticipated guns for me to be added to Reload, but it just got added to Chapter 7. So did the Enforcer assault rifle, and the twin hammer shotguns, and the wingsuit. When I'm playing Reload on a worse version of the Chapter 7 map with a worse version of the Chapter 7 loot pool with key Chapter 7 mechanics like the wingsuit and storm surfing, well, I'm just asking myself, well, why wouldn't I just go play Chapter 7? Take these 2 screenshots and tell me which one is from Reload and which one is from Battle Royale. And the fact that you even had to think about it is concerning, because this one is Reload and this one is Battle Royale. But I lied, and this one is Battle Royale, and this one is Reload. And now you just have no clue whether I'm telling the truth or not. That's how similar they are. And now you're stuck trying to differentiate 2 separate screenshots from 2 separate game modes. Does that highlight the problem? And let me remind you, they did not have to make a Chapter 7 map. There are tons of other ideas that could have been made before Chapter 7. For example, a Chapter 3 map, or a Chapter 6 map, since that chapter just left. Or maybe the Chapter 2 Season 2 map that has been sitting in the files since July. There is an almost unlimited amount of map ideas that they could pull from Fortnite's history. So why Epic chose to do a Chapter 7 map over any other idea baffles me. And just like the other 2 maps, this just isn't a fun map to play on. This map only has 5 locations very packed together, and 3 of them are just filler locations, and the other 2 are actual locations from Chapter 7. Storm surfing doesn't work when half the map is on a huge incline, and over half of this map is just Battlewood Boulevard. This map just sucks to play, especially when you add items like the arc lightning gun. The arc lightning gun? For context, Reload got an update that made it so that specific maps have exclusive items. Venture has the flintlock pistol and the jetpacks, Surf City has Chapter 7 loot like the twin hammer shotguns and the wingsuit, but Oasis stands out, because unlike these 2, Oasis has items like the boom bolt and nitro fist in rotation. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. Nitro fist were added to Reload, the primary item from Chapter 5 Season 3, the item that people hated so much that it led to the creation of Reload, has now been added to Reload, and this has been in the game for 4 months. I don't even think I should explain why this is a bad idea. Items like Nitro Fist and the Arc Lightning Gun serve no purpose in the loot pool except to get the baby player a free kill, and the inclusion of these items actively defeats the whole point of Reload. Reload already had a bit of wackiness before with items like the Kinetic Blade and the Mammoth Pistol, but the difference between these items is that the Kinetic Blade isn't a baby item that gets the rat in my lobby a free kill. The Kinetic Blade is an actually useful and skillful item. You'll notice in gameplay using this item, it's not giving players a free kill. The kinetic blade is not an item that will get you a kill, but instead, when used right, can assist you in getting a kill. The kinetic blade is an item that rewards strategy and careful thinking. Compare that to the average fight with a player using the arc lightning gun. The difference between these items is clear. This takes skill to use, whereas this one you only have to hold one button down and you get a free kill. Items like these are the exact frustrations that led to the creation of Reload. So to see this mode morphing into the exact same thing it was created to be a break from is just tiring. Before items like this, Reload served as a break from BR. Battle Royale could add as much wacky stuff as it wanted because Reload was there for players who didn't want to put up with it. But now that Reload has the exact same baby items as Battle Royale, what's the point of playing Reload anymore? If anything, OG has taken Reload's place as the core mode for people fed up with Battle Royale. But OG still has its flaws and isn't for everyone. Just because you enjoy Prime Reload does not mean you'll enjoy OG. So now what? Contrary to popular belief, I cannot predict the future. I do not know what lies in store for Reload. However, I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't think something big was coming to Reload. A few months ago, we got the addition of more fight weapons, guns that upgrade the more kills you get. While I have my own problem with these are a cool gimmick. It has been 4 months since these have been added. Why has nothing been done with them? They just added more fight weapons and did nothing with them. Like, think about the possibilities with this. A Morphite mammoth pistol, Morphite exotics that get more wacky as you use them. There is potential here, so the fact that Reload hasn't taken advantage of that is crazy. The script for this video was written back in December of 2025, but honestly, I'm surprised by how well it still holds up to this day. Since this video was scripted, Reload has only gotten wackier and wackier, with items like the Wrecker Revolver and the K-pop Demon Hunter items, including the annoying sword. Adding these items on top of an already messy loot pool just keeps adding on to the issue. The more items they add to the loot pool, the more messed up it gets. They also released the Lantern Fest update, which did pretty much nothing. The thing I find most funny about this is that the ranked season is literally just called Surf City Part 2. I swear if Epic just removed Surf City, Reload would already be twice as good. I really hope that soon Reload gets a big return to form like the Slurp Rush update. Hopefully Reload will return to what worked before with simple weapons and maybe even finishing that Chapter 2 Season 2 map. Reload still has a lot of things it can do, and I really doubt that Reload is gonna end anytime soon. Reload still has a healthy player base in the competitive community. But then again, I don't work at Epic Games. All I can really do is voice my opinion about the state of Reload. For all I know, on April 2nd, they can just add the kneecapper to Reload or make a Chapter 5 Season 3 map. But I do hope that Reload will have a return to form soon. Expand on the Morphite weapons, make a Chapter 2 or 3 map. That could serve as a reset to bring players back to Reload. But as for now, Reload just feels like a mess that's lost its identity. Well, that video was a lot more depressing than it needed to be. Let's see what's next for Metaverse March. Oh, things are not getting any better.